been a while since I reviewed GhostBSD, so I'll be looking at the latest versions, which is 22.01.12, and delving straight into it. Right, I've just installed it onto a hard drive, and the first thing I have to say is that it's got a nice new clean look to what I'm used to before. It's an incremental change that's happened over several versions, but it's nice to see it all come together. On the screen, you've got the usual on-screen helpers, keyboard layout, and of course, time. So it's a nice, clean, laid out login screen, and you've got suspend, hibernate, and quit. So in the password box, just put in the password and we'll log in. Yeah, so it's all nice and clean. I like the color palette. It seems to me that they've worked it well. Give it a nice touch of paint, so it looks very nice indeed. The bottom left there, we've got Show Desktop, and we've got the virtual desktops down there. Nice and simple. You've got your menu at the top, Applications, Places, and System. And you've got Volume, Network, which is not working for some reason, and Calendar. Right-clicking brings up a mini menu where you can interact with a desktop and a few things like that. It's like change background, which we'll have a look, see what's available, seeing as we're here. Okay, it's not a fantastic selection, but there are some nice choices that they've made. Very nice. The themes, as usual, it's 4 different choices based upon one Vimix theme. And fonts, yeah, that's not enabled by default, which will be enabling that for try and get the best picture quality we can. And the rest of the fonts are at size 10, but so I'm just going to change it. Maybe, yeah, I'll change it. Might as well. So I'm just going to increase it by 1. Make it a little bit more readable on the smallish monitor that I'm using. An interface so you can change some of the various aspects of the window decorations. Right, so let's have a look at what we got. You've got accessories, you've got the various different add-ons that you get on Mate, such as character map, archive manager, calculator, font viewer, search tool, passwords, plank plumer, root terminal, and a screenshot tool. So there's not really any frills there, it's just, but it'll do the job. Graphics, you've got Eye of Mate, you've got color selection and Shotwell. Internet, you've got Firefox and transmission. Office, disappointingly, you've only got Atril, Evolution, and Mate Dictionary. You haven't got any kind of word processor. You've got Rhythmbox, Sound, and VLC under Sound and Video. And System Tools, you've got Kaja, Deconf Editor, Fish, Log File Viewer, Disk Use Analyzer, System Monitor, and Terminal and Power Statistics. Under Places, you've got the usual home folder, desktop things, and network connector, etc. And under System, you've got Preferences, Administration, Control Center, and Lock Screen, Logout, Shutdown, as well as a Help and About. Under Preferences, we've got Hardware, Internet, Network, Look and Feel, and Personal. And under Hardware, you've got Displays, Keyboard, Shortcuts, Mouse, etc. Internet and Network, you've got Proxy, Look and Feel. You can change various basic aspects of your desktop. And under Personal, you've got About the User and Startup Applications, etc. Again, it's pretty standard. Administration, you've got Print, Software Station, and Update Station. And Control Center basically copies what we're in this menu. You've got the various logouts, shutdowns, and About Mate. And the Mate version we're using is 1.26.0, so I think it's the latest. So, pretty good. So, we'll just have a look at Internet and see the version of Firefox that we're using. I would imagine it's not the latest with it. It's been released when it came out in January. So we'll have a look. Oh yeah, we're not connected to the internet, so we'll sort that out in a minute. Right, versions. I will go down to Help, About Firefox. Yeah, it's 95.0.2. Well, that's fine. We'll update it once we get connected. We'll just close that down. Yes. So, anyway. We'll have a quick look at dmeshes to see what the last things that were loaded. I'll try to check some of it out. Right, yeah. So the firewall is loaded. And everything else seems to be fine. There's no error messages. Okay. I'm going to try plugging an AC Wi-Fi USB dongle. And I plugged it in. Let's have a look. Yep. And yeah, well, it's detected it, which is encouraging, I suppose. Obviously, we've not configured it. And there's the Ethernet. So I don't know why we haven't got internet. It works every time when I put FreeBSD on. But with GhostBSD, this time, it's not worked. So I have no idea. Okay, let's try something then. Tell you what, I'm just going to try and see if it's available. I'm just going to try and see if Duaz is loaded up, which is a more secure. No, Duaz is not in. Okay, that's interesting. Back to sudo then. I would have thought that Duaz might have been installed. But for now, we're going to have to try bsdconfig. Now, this really, you shouldn't have to do this. Really, there should be tools available, GUI tools that lets you configure the network rather than doing what I'm doing now, because I think maybe the average user wouldn't know that this particular way exists and would be stuck without an internet if they had problems with theirs. Anyway, go down to network configuration. Look at devices. Yeah, it's not picked up the Wi-Fi, it's only the Ethernet. And what gets me is if it can pick the Ethernet up, why is it not configured as soon as I've installed it? Which is interesting, because Ethernets are pretty standard now. It's not exotic hardware. Okay, right, so I'm going to have to do this manually. I'll just put in the IP. And going down to wireless networks, there's no wireless devices found. So that's a shame. It doesn't work with the Wi-Fi AC standard, which is, I think, one behind the modern one now, which I think is known as Wi-Fi 6. So we all configured. I'll just bring network interfaces up again. Just one more time. Yeah, bring it up now. And we should be good to go. There's no else I need to do now. I'll exit out of that. Yeah. Nice back. Oh, and it's picked up some updates as well, which is cool. But that is a shame I had to do that bsdconfig. It really shouldn't have been something that I had to do. Not if it wants to try and compete with some of the Linux distros that are around, which I'm sure wouldn't have had this problem. But, you know, we'll see. Right, so it's picked up some updates. Let's have a look at the updates. It's picked up quite a few, but that's to be expected. I mean, it's about a month or two since it's come out. Yeah, there's the latest version of Firefox, which I expected. New packages, very good. And install packages, yeah, okay, that's fine. Changing libraries means that we might need to reinstall them. And good that it actually creates a boot environment backup at the bottom there. So if things go wrong, you can roll it back, which is a really good feature. Right, go to the control center. I'm just going to turn off the screensaver because it always tends to kick in while I'm loading updates. Okay, that's fine. Lovely, lovely. Install the updates. I'm going to time this, and I know it takes a long time, but we'll see just how long it takes. That was incredibly slow. Imagine that. 26 minutes, nearly 27 minutes. I can tell you that my internet connection is not slow, and on other machines that I've tested FreeBSD on, etc., and on this machine, it's not been as long as that to install much more in terms of gigabyte downloads for updates, etc. That really was slow. Now, I don't know whether it's the GhostBSD servers or my internet. I suspect it's the servers. Well, that perhaps needs to be looked at. That really was very painfully slow. Next time I'm downloading the large thing, I'll do it in real time so you can just see how slow it is. Right, so we're back. We're booting back up. Normally I would fast forward this, but I'm just going to let it do it in real time. And this is not running on an SSD, it's an old spinning hard drive, so we're at the mercy of that. Let's see if it logs in automatically. I've had an issue with one or two of these before when it's not logged in. Hopefully we're going to get it. Yes, very nice. So we've applied the updates and we'll see where we go from here. Right, there we go. Okie dokie. We'll check out Firefox now, and obviously we know the internet working now, so we'll get something other than an error message. Again, I'm not fast forwarding this. I would normally speed things up, but I want to give you an impression of just how sluggish I'm finding this on occasions. Okay, let's go down there. Oh, that's not good then, is it? Let's have a look. Is it going to pop up if I move it? What's happening? Pressing a key. Okay, we'll move the window, see that. Oh, there we go. That's interesting. Right, okay, anyway. We're on version 97.0. Okay, that's fine. Right, we go down to Control Center, and I'm just going to look at... Yeah, I'm just going to check Update Station. Sometimes you do get an occasional one popping up, which doesn't seem to be popping up. Okay. We'll try Software Station. Again, what's happening? So, oh, right, oh, okay. They all pop up all at once, of course. Things are really, I don't know, it's hard to convey in video, but things feel really slow and not what it used to be. It used to be quite nippy on this machine, the GhostBSD, but this particular version is quite slow. We're just waiting for Software Station to sync the available packages. And, yeah. Do you know, that's better. I couldn't read it then. There's something about the colour font that they've used, especially on the progress bar at the bottom. I actually can't really read what it says. So, yeah, okay, we'll try it again. See if it's any quicker now that it's synced to the database. Yeah, the greyed out is really hard to read. A tiny little green progress bar and light grey. It's like dark grey on light grey. It's not a scheme I would use. Okay, well that was quicker, so obviously the second time round it's going to quicker. I'm just going to install, if I can... Yeah, I know what it is. I'm going to install a Office suite. Now the thing is, one thing that they've not included is an Office suite in GhostBSD out of the bat. So, which I find is slightly unusual because there is a live CD or live DVD, so there's a live DVD session that you can use, a live desktop session, but there isn't anywhere that you can do any kind of work. You have to install it afterwards, which is again a strange decision really on something that's meant to be desktop friendly. But okay, even a small word processor will be better than none. But I'm just going to run this in real time rather than speed it up. Now you can go to the end of this if you wish, or you can fast forward. I think it will take a while, but we'll keep on going. I'm just going to Nah, I won't bother with that. I was going to change something, but I'll leave it. But considering that we're only downloading 52 files and it's LibreOffice, this overall process, it feels really slow. I can't put my finger on it, really. I'm going to check KLD stats same as we're here. Yeah, okay, everything's loaded. And video is loaded, so that's pretty cool. All the drivers are loaded. One thing that they have improved is the auto detection of NVIDIA card and loading up the correct drivers, which was an issue for a while. One or two of the reviews I did for GhostBSD, I didn't include in the review the fact that it didn't detect my graphics card, even though the graphics card wasn't that old. It's obviously not the latest, but wasn't that old. But it never detected it. I had to manually install the drivers separately. It's not done that in this time, so that's pretty cool. And it's something that you do expect on a modern OS. If this was FreeBSD, it'd already be done by now. And I know, like, saying, yeah, but it's based upon FreeBSD stable. It is, but I think they're using their own repos for GhostBSD, and I think that's what might be the problem. At the moment, we're extracting and installing. Again, it seems slow, and on the same hardware running ZFS on FreeBSD, things felt really quick. On the latest videos that I've done of getting started on FreeBSD on the desktop, the system was really responsive. This is not as responsive. In fact, I would say it's pretty sluggish. So I don't know what's going on here. We'll just let it play out a bit more. 43 out of 53. OpenGDK is notoriously large and slow to extract anyway. Should speed up a bit now, actually. And we're installing LibreOffice itself. So again, I can't really see what's going on at the bottom there. I think it's going to be finished soon, hopefully. Going up to 3 minutes. And are we there yet? Nearly. Wow, this really is dragging out. 3 minutes. They come up to 3.5 minutes. Updating data. Completed. Right. Nearly 3.5 minutes. That really is slow. It really is. Even on this old machine, that's slow. Well, anyway, so that's done. I think that really you should have some kind of word processor or Office suite available. I think it's just one of the essential tools, really. I know it's not difficult to install it, but in an OS that has a live session or the ability to be a live OS, then I think you need some onboard word processor there. It's just my personal opinion, but of course, you know, I'm not a developer of the OS. So there's LibreOffice, and it's all shininess. It's very nice indeed. Well, I'll look at the version, and it is version 7.2.5.2.0 plus. Very extreme long version number. Lovely, lovely. Of course, many of us use computers that don't use it in isolation. We usually connect other things to it, peripherals, etc. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to connect a scanner, which I've just done. It's a Canon LIDE or LIDE, or LIDE 220. Very reliable scanner, flatbed scanner. And it's something which I actually find very useful to have, even transferring documents. So I'm going to try starting up Scanlight, which is a very user-friendly scanner program. Alright, so opening selected scanner file. Okay, so Scanlight's detected it, but for some reason we can't open it. So get rid of that and we'll just try again. I'll just launch Scanlight again. Find it, there you go. So it'll flash up in a minute that it finds the scanner. But no, it's not going to do it. Which is a shame. Okay. So the next thing we're going to try is plugging in a webcam. And this is a Logitech, I think it's like a C90 or something, I don't know. C920. Pretty universal webcam. It's high compatibility in other OSs. And in FreeBSD itself it works quite well. So I'm going to launch OBS and see if we can detect it there. Just run through the initial setup. Just to show you that it works, you know, either works or doesn't work out of the box. I'm just going to add the webcam. I'm going to go to, oh yeah, down there, video capture. And will it work? Yeah, it works. That's very impressive. I like that. That's good. Hello. So webcam works straight out of the box. That's very nice indeed. Shame about the scanner, but I don't suppose you can have everything. So that's good. That works, which is I'm quite impressed by that actually. Yeah, didn't have to mess around with webcam D or anything like that. Very good. Just exit out of that. Okay. So next, really, I want to try plugging in USB. So I'm gonna try one which I think is formatted with UFS, and try one which is formatted with NTFS, I think. So plugging it in, and you got a DA0 pop up on the desktop in the shape of a disk, which is ironic, really. So double click on that, and is it going to show it? Possibly. Yeah, there we go. And I think that this is a GhostBSD installed USB. I was going to check out the license, see if that shows. Yeah, GhostBSD. So that's not a problem. It detected that. Didn't auto mount it and open it, if as you can set sometimes, but it auto mounted it anyway, I think. And trouble is when you try to eject the disk, I'm getting CD control and appropriate I/O control for device. So ejecting the actual USB. Yeah, okay. So I don't know if it's getting confused thinking it's an actual disk, or it's just not unmounting it, I don't know. Anyway, unplugging it seems to take care of that. Right, we're going to try a NTFS now, formatted one, if I can find it. Right, and I think that this is a Windows install one, although I'm not sure. I miss the old days when you could label CDs and DVDs, you knew what was on it. It's like many of these USBs, I forget. So this one is, okay, so let's do two partitions. And it seems to have mounted them anyway. Oh yeah, that's NTFS, I think. Yeah, system volume information. Of course it could be FAT32, but anyway, it's mounted it. A Windows formatted USB, it's mounted it. As I expected it would do. So I'll unplug that. Although this really isn't the be-all and end-all of security testing or auditing, it's a useful tool to get a sense of where your OS is at in terms of how vulnerable and stuff it is, you know, to outside threats. And I think we're looking for the Lynis test of anything 60 and above. Really is a good mark. If it's below 60, then, you know, there's one or two things needs to be worked on. So we're just going to search for Lynis and install it. And I think 3.0.7 is the latest version, so we shouldn't get any complaints about that. Right, let's go into the terminal. And make it a bit bigger so we can see what's going on. And we'll just run Lynis audit and system. And we'll just let it do its thing. Right, it's finished. We'll just scroll up, I think, so we can see what the score is. 62. Okay, that's not too bad. It could be, it's I've seen worse. I think the default FreeBSD, as soon as you install it, I think it's like 58, 56, 58 or something like that. So not too bad at all. And there's just the recommendations it's Lynis says you should do. Right. So that's very good. That's quite impressive. So here we go. This is what I found from looking at the review. Well, the overview is there was no Ethernet on initial install or live session. I didn't show you the live session because it wouldn't have added anything to it, but it was the same result really. No detection of 802.11ac Wi-Fi adapter, which is a shame. Very slow download and install of updates and packages, extremely slow. On using the same hardware on a different OS, it wasn't that bad. I think it could well be the servers that GhostBSD are using. They use their own servers they use their own repos rather than using the FreeBSD one, so I think that could be an issue there. It feels sluggish on the same hardware that ran vanilla FreeBSD quickly. Again, it's, just general using it felt slower. I don't know whether there was anything running in the background that was using up the cycles, etc., but it didn't feel as responsive. It's got limited themes. Well, again, that's not a major thing, but it can be, and it can be tricky installing themes into Mate. Not all themes will work, and only having a few available is, it's not user-friendly. And I found a lot of the text and the desktop hard to read. I know I could have changed the color scheme maybe, but really having dark grey on light grey on a status bar which is green, say for instance using the OctoPKG, then that's not really a good choice. There was no Office Suite or similar productivity provision. Again, it's meant to be a live OS. You can use it as live OS and then you can install it. And especially if there was no internet, not having an ability to get any work done is not good really. And it didn't work with the scanner. And it's not an exotic scanner. It's not something which is industry specific. It's not like an animation one or anything like that. It's a scanner that is fairly common and from a common brand, Canon. But, that's fine. Not all hardware will work. And that's one of the criticisms that sometimes I get people say to me about BSD in general, FreeBSD, is that it has limited hardware. Well, it does, but this scanner works flawlessly on vanilla FreeBSD. It doesn't work on GhostBSD, which is strange. They're the negative points, so let's have a look at the positive. The NVIDIA card, which I've got in the test machine, was detected perfectly. It's a GeForce 710, and it loaded the drivers correctly in the background, so straight from the bat, you were into a desktop which was powered by NVIDIA, which is very nice indeed. I like that. The webcam works straight away. Now, that's a plus. Faffing around with webcam D. Now, it's really, that's all you have to do on FreeBSD anyway. You just set up webcam D and find out which address the USB is at, and away you go. But it's nice to have something work straight away rather than having to mess with it. And it mounted the UFS and possibly NTFS, although it could have been FAT32. It mounted it mounted the Windows formatted USB stick straight away. And in general, GhostBSD, it shows promise. As a showcase of what FreeBSD can do, GhostBSD is there. Over the years, they've incrementally improved it a lot. There were always some rough edges. There are still some now, but it's getting better every release. The new look is nice. It's very professionally done. Nice color scheme, nice kind of blue. The install always has always been good. That's one of the plus things, that it's a graphical installer that doesn't get in your face too much and it gets on with it, and I do like that. Even setting up something with like ZFS, which can be a bit of a pain if you're not used to doing it, that does work. Although once or twice I've had issues where it's refused to install because it's had a problem with the naming of the Z pool, which is odd. But yeah, so it's fine. But what does need to be improved is hardware and attention to detail. And I say that because GhostBSD in general is regarded as something like the Ubuntu or the Linux Mint of the BSD world, in the sense that in Linux you can choose user-friendly ones which do all the work for you, or you can choose more, and I use air quotes of course, hard distros which require some tweaking and manipulation to get going. Very much like FreeBSD, vanilla FreeBSD in itself. But GhostBSD purports itself to be the Linux Mint of the BSD world, in the sense that you download it, install it, and it should just work. And it does, to a certain degree, but the showstopper I found in this particular instance was the lack of Ethernet. And so if I didn't know how to use bsdconfig, I would have been left with an OS that would have installed with no internet and no way to get any work done, which is, again, another thing, which is a lack of Office Suite. So how many nuggies do I get it? Well, out of 5, I'll have to give it 3. And would I recommend GhostBSD? Well, that's difficult. I think if you want to learn FreeBSD, I think GhostBSD is possibly a good way, because it'll get it up and going and installed very quickly. But the frustrations of having things not working, which maybe you are used to working in Linux, will possibly put you off. And I would suggest that Hello System or Nomad BSD might be a better alternative if you want an out-of-the-box experience with FreeBSD, or just to delve into FreeBSD itself. I think once they fix 1 or 2 issues, then it'll go up. But for now, it's 3 out of 5. Anyway, that's enough of this review. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.